Welcome back, everyone. So the second lesson for this week is another method to find the equation of a line given a slope and a point. So we did it using our graph before, and that's probably about the easiest way you can do it because it's just about plotting points and using the slope to find more points until you find your y-intercept. But sometimes if we have numbers that are too big, they're not going to fit on a normal 10 by 10 grid. So all the graphs that you had in the previous assignment were all just 10 by 10. So we went to positive 10, negative 10 on both axes, right? But if we have something like this point right here that is 100 comma 40, that's clearly not going to fit on a 10 by 10 grid because it's just way too big. And you can see on this grid we have here that it's that red point that's way out here all by itself. And if we were on a 10 by 10 grid, we'd be way down here in the lower left-hand corner. But since we have the grid, we could go ahead and find what the equation of the line is. Or actually, you know what? Do I even really want to do that? Because notice what's going to happen. This is kind of going to be kind of a pain to do because we're way out here and my slope is 1/4. So if I zoom way into this thing, my slope being 1/4, I'm going to go up 1/4, right? And well, whoops, I don't want to do that. I want to use the pen here. Hold on a second. I'm going to use the pen. So we go up 1/4. Well, I'm going the wrong direction, right? So now I need to remember I can do the opposite. So I'm going to go down 1 and to the left 4. And man, this is going to take a while to get all the way back over to the y-axis. And you know, it would be super simple for me to make a mistake of some sort here and when I'm going down 1 and to the left 4. And look at this, I'm even going to have to just move my graph. So I could keep going. Kind of not a whole lot of fun, right? And what I'm getting to here is that there is an easier way to do this than having to graph these points like this. And look at that, I'm going to keep going. You're kind of thinking maybe you should just stop, right? Nope, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. Look at that. Here we go. I'm trying to go fast. And see, here's the thing too. You're going to want to go fast like I'm trying to do right here. And it's going to be super easy for you to make a mistake of some sort. So what I'm going to show you today is a way we can do this that involves doing it algebraically instead of using the graph. So here we go. I was able to do it actually. You can see all those points are on a nice straight line. And so I figured out in this case that my y-intercept is 15. My slope is 1/4. So my equation is y equals 1/4 x plus 15. Okay? All right, now there is a super simple way to, well, I shouldn't say it's super simple. It involves some math. So nothing's ever super simple when it involves math, right? But there is a nice way to do this algebraically that I'm going to show you down here for this exact same one. So remember we had m, or the slope is 1/4, and then we had the point 140. Okay, so I'm going to show you a way to do this. And we're going to end up at this same spot right here at that equation. So we have m is 1/4. We have 100 is an x value, and we have 40 is a y value. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the equation y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to plug in the m, the x, and the y. And you'll see that the only thing that I didn't plug in was the b. So I'm going to be able to find the b by doing this. And so the y is 40, so I'm going to put a 40 here. M is 1/4. X is 100, and I'm going to put it in parentheses just because it keeps things nice and neat. And then I do plus b. Okay, so now if I simplify this, I have 40 equals 1/4 times 100. Well, 1/4 times 100, so it's 1 times 100, and then divided by 4. Well, 100 divided by 4 is 25, so I'm going to go ahead and put 25 there. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides. So I end up with a b on the right-hand side and 15 on the left-hand side. And so look at that. this b is the same as this b right up here. So we got to the same point. So we have the b, we have the m here, so we can just write the equation y equals 1/4 x plus 15. Okay, so it saves us from having to use the slope to move and find all those points all the way back over to the y-axis. And a lot of times we wouldn't even be able to do this because we don't have graphs this big. I'm sure you could go out and find one on the internet somewhere, but what's the point in doing that when you can remember this mathematical way to do it and be able to find the equation of the line? Okay, so let's go through a couple more examples, and then you're going to have a couple to do on your own. Okay, so the key here is identifying what you have. So we know that this is m here, this is x, this is y, and then remembering we just plug it all into y equals mx plus b, and we solve for b. All right, so we're going to say y is 20, m is -3/5, x is -50, and we're looking for b, so we're just going to leave that alone. Okay, so now this one is a little bit more challenging to simplify that fraction times -50, but it's just -3 times -50 and then divided by 5. So -3 times -50 is 150, positive 150, and then divided by 5 is 30. So we have 20 equals 30 plus b. And I can actually, let's do this. I'm going to show you this over here. -3 times -50 and then divided by 5. So if you're using a calculator, you can enter it this way right here. I'm going to fix that. Yeah, that's all right. -3 times -50 and then divided by 5. And that should give you 30. All right. And so then we're going to subtract 30 from both sides. And we end up with -10 here. And this is b. So we have our b, we have our m. So we can write the equation. Y equals -3/5 x minus 10. Okay, so another good example, because -50, 20 is a point that is nowhere near going to fit on one of those little graphs that we have. Okay. All right, let's do one more. And so we have m here, x and y. And so we're going to take y equals mx plus b. And we're going to plug in everything we know. So we have -25 equals 5/2 is our slope. 40 is our x value plus b. And so this fraction maybe is a little bit simpler because everything's positive. So we have 5 times 40. Well, 5 times 40 is 200. And then divided by 2 is 100. So we have -25 equals 100 plus b. Okay, so again, this is 5 times, that's not a good times sign, 40, and then divided by 2. So if you're going to enter it in the calculator, it's 5 times 40 divided by 2. Simple enough. All right, so then we're going to subtract 100 from both sides. And this one's a great example because we end up with a y-intercept of -125. And that's not even anywhere near on one of those little 10 by 10 graphs. So we have a y-intercept of -125. We have a slope of 5/2. So, oops, I don't have a whole lot of space here. Y equals 5/2x minus 125. There we go. All right, now I see right away in one of these two that you have to do on your own that there's something that's going to be thrown at you that is different. And I can see it right here. So we have a decimal for our slope. And that's okay. A decimal is just another number. And sometimes in the real world with real linear equations, we end up with decimals for slopes, and that's okay. And you'll just multiply that decimal times the x value when you're finding finding the equation of the line or finding the y-intercept. Okay, so you're probably going to want to grab a calculator to do that. Okay, so we have a decimal in that one, and we also have a decimal in this one here. All right, the other two are fractions, so you're going to do it like we did up above. All right, so these also red boxes, no numbers though. So I'm pretty sure you're going to have to enter these on Schoology, but exactly how, I'll let you know in class.